Today is the yarzeit of Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, often called the Ari, a Rosh Tevos of his name, literally the godly Rabbi Yitzchak. He passed away on Hey Av, that's today, in 5332. That corresponds to the solar calendar of 1572. He was born in 1533, that's 5292, since the creation of the world. He was a major Kabbalist, perhaps the most important Kabbalist there ever was. He wrote very little. His principal student, Talmid Muvchak, was Rabbi Chaim Vital. Okay? Rabbi Chaim Vital wrote down a lot of what he learned from Rabbi Yitzchak Luria. He also was a prolific writer himself. The works of the Ari the teachings are in a book called Otzros Chaim. It's a rather lengthy work. A much more concise work is the book I'm looking at right now, Otzros Chaim, literally the treasures of life, or the treasures of Chaim, as in Chaim Vital, where it's an important book in Kabala as well. It's much more concise. An important aspect of Kabbalah is you reveal what they call the Rosh Prakim, literally the chapter titles, and that's what I would like to do right now. Just go through the titles of the chapters in Otzros Chaim. There are 22 chapters in it, which probably not coincidentally is the same number of letters in the Hebrew alphabet. The letters are an important Kabbalistic concept, particularly in the Sefer Yetzirah. They're considered the building blocks of the universe, that you have physical letters, but you also have spiritual letters as well. This central issue of Kabbalah is creation, and often the intimate relationship between a man and a woman is used as a metaphor to explain the creation of the world. Now, the first chapter is Shar HaIgulim, literally the chapter on the circles. This is where the concept of the 10 spheres are introduced, Keter, Chachma, Bina, where each one it's drawn as concentric circles, with the innermost circle being Malchut, that it would be the physical world in which we live right now. It starts with the idea that God limited himself. He created darkness, and then he radiated light into the world. And you have through the shine of light, you have what they call or pnimi and or makif, the light that is inside and the light that surrounds. The next chapter is Tanta, literally ant in Yiddish, but it's an acronym for Ta'amim, Nikudim, Tagim, Va'ot. Tam is the melody of a letter. When you read the Torah, it has a cantillation. Nikudot are the vowels. Tagim are the accent points. And the ot is the letter itself. It's the most physical part of the letter. The idea is that when creation starts between a man and a woman, the Kabbalists say that it starts with an idea in the man's mind, a very minute idea. That would be the letters. The next is Akudim. That's a streak. so to speak, that when a person has an idea, first it's a streak, like a flash of lightning. After that, it's nikudot. That's a dot, that the idea begins to become physicalized. Often it's a similar idea is the thorn on the top of a yud, which is the first letter of the name of God, and it starts with that little streak, that little tag, and then it becomes a whole letter. Then berudim, that it would be more precisely spots. Okay, so to speak, what you had was a little seed, and it becomes an embryo. After that, you have shar atik and shar arich. Now, these are two concepts of God. It's returning to the, shall we say, the father of all. Atik is short for atik yomim. It means ancient of days. It refers to the idea that God is the beginning of all beginnings. The next one is arich, which means long, but it's short for arich anpin, long face. The idea of arich apayim is patience, but it's taking the long view. So to speak, this is the God that spans time and is the last of the last, the acharon for acharonim. Then you have the sha'ar abba ve'ima, where we're getting it to be more physical. You have a father and a mother. The father gives the seed and the woman receives the seed. It's beginning to work on the concept of a woman. That will be a big issue. Who is a vessel to receive Kedusha and produces children, which is the next chapter. It's Sha'ar Zir Anpin, the small face, which refers to, shall we say, the son. The woman gives birth to a son. He's a small face because, as opposed to a long face, in that his time is just very short. Next, you have the concept of mission, the concept of the breaking of the vessels. It's the ripach nitzutzim, the 288 sparks. This is where you're getting into a sense of purpose, but the idea is that when God created the world, what happened is things went wrong. This is the sin of Adam Harishon, and a lot of good became lost within evil. That is the idea of the 288 sparks that, so to speak, have been lost and now have to be recovered. After that, you have Shar Anach, which is short for a Roshet Evos, for Oros Nitzutzim Vakelim, okay, light, sparks, and vessels. The idea is light is Kedusha. It's also, it's what's good, it's intelligence, but you have to have something to contain it. And that's the idea of a kli, that, so to speak, a man's body is a kli for his soul, which is a light. The next one is the Sha'ar Leidat Hamochim, the birth of the brains. The first part of the human being that's considered the most important is the brain. So this is how the brains come into being. After that, it's Sha'ar Hamochim. What is the intellect and mentality like when they are developed? And they will develop them in Kabbalistic terms using the 10 spheres, the 4 universes, various gematrias of the names of God. The next one is Sha'ar Mochim Ditzelim, the brains of the image, meaning the image or the form the idea is that once you have brains, you have to have a body to put them in. That's the tselem. After that, it's shar iburim. That's the pregnancy, literally the development of a child, but also, shall we say, the development of anything, or the development of the world. Then you have sha'ar malachim. That's the gates of the kings. Each of the 7 spheres, chesed, gevura, tiferes, that's kindness, strength, and beauty, is considered a king. So what you have is a discussion of those, and often a person's soul is drawn from these spheres. And then you have shar partsufei zun. Zun being a Rosh Hashanah for Zachar v'Nekeva, male and female. This is getting into more detail where you actually have the development of the face of both men and women. After that, you have Sha'ar Tikkun Hanukva. Okay, this is the woman was created after a man. This is the gate of the rectification of the female, and she was the one who started with the sin of the eight Sadas. So she fell to a lower level. This is rising her up. Then it becomes more, shall we say, personal, where it gets Sha'ar Yaakov and Leah, where they are used as the architects of men and women, Yaakov and his first wife Leah. Then you have Sha'ar Rachel v'Leah, the 2 wives of Yaakov, Rachel being the beloved one. Then you have Sha'ar Ha'arot Hazun. This is the lights of male and female. What is the nature of their soul? The final one, the 22nd one, is Sha'ah Ha'ona'ah. Ona'ah has 2 contradictory definitions. It can be affliction, Honah, and it can be pleasure, Hana'ah. And it refers to both of them. This is the concept of pleasure and pain within the world and within a human being.